Dive with us as we explore the intricate tapestry of Nigeria's political history, setting the stage for a discussion on deforestation. The narrative of Nigeria's political history is as rich and complex as the soil of its rainforests. It all began with the pre-colonial era, where hundreds of ethnic groups lived under diverse forms of governance, from monarchies to city-states. Politics was local, and the environment, a shared resource, was cared for communally. Then came the wave of colonialism in the late 19th century, with the British amalgamating diverse regions into what we know today as Nigeria. The colonial government introduced a centralized system, drastically altering the political landscape. The environment, once a community responsibility, became a subject of state control. Forests were seen as economic assets, leading to the exploitation of timber and other resources. Fast forward to the mid-20th century, Nigeria gained independence, a new dawn, but with its own set of challenges. The post-colonial government grappled with diversity and unity, often leading to political instability. During the periods of military rule, environmental concerns were sidelined as the focus was on maintaining order and unity. The forests continued to bear the brunt of this political turmoil. With the transition to democracy at the turn of the millennium, environmental policies began to take shape. However, the implementation has been marred by corruption, lack of resources, and inadequate enforcement. The result? A continued trend of deforestation, despite the existence of laws aimed at protecting the environment. In summary, Nigeria's political history is a tale of shifting powers and evolving governance structures. From the communal management in the pre-colonial era, through the centralized control during colonial times, to the struggle for stability and unity in the post-colonial period, each phase has left its mark on the country's environmental landscape. This political backdrop sets the stage for the current environmental crisis Nigeria faces today, deforestation. Now, let's unravel the knot of deforestation, starting with its causes. In Nigeria, the battle against deforestation is a convoluted one, woven into the very socio-economic fabric of the nation. The primary culprits? Agricultural expansion, logging, infrastructure development, and an ever-growing demand for firewood. Agricultural expansion comes in as a significant player. As the population increases, so does the demand for food, leading to the conversion of forested land into agricultural fields. This issue is further exacerbated by slash-and-burn farming practices, which involve clearing and burning of forests for cultivation. The ash left behind is used as a fertilizer, but the soil quickly loses its nutrients, leading to the abandonment of the land and further encroachment into forest areas. Then there's logging. Both legal and illegal logging have been rampant, driven by the demand for timber and non-timber forest products. The forests of Nigeria, once rich in mahogany and teak, are being stripped bare. The lack of stringent regulations and enforcement further fuels this deforestation fire. Let's not forget about infrastructure development. As Nigeria strides towards urbanization and industrialization, the need for infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and buildings is on the rise. This development often comes at the expense of forests, which are cleared away to make room for progress. Finally, the increased demand for firewood. In a country where a large percentage of households still rely on firewood for cooking and heating, the pressure on forests is immense. The lack of affordable and accessible alternatives only magnifies this problem. These activities, driven by socio-economic factors, are causing the rapid loss of forest cover in Nigeria. It's a vicious cycle. Deforestation leads to soil degradation, which in turn leads to lower agricultural productivity, pushing people to clear more forest land. The causes of deforestation are intertwined with the socio-economic fabric of Nigeria, making it a complex issue to tackle. It's not just about conservation or planting more trees, it's about addressing the root causes and finding sustainable paths forward. Deforestation doesn't just rob Nigeria of its forests, it also has widespread environmental and economic repercussions. Let's begin with the environmental consequences. Deforestation leads to an alarming loss of biodiversity. When these lush forests are cut down, countless species lose their homes. Some manage to adapt, but many face extinction. This loss of biodiversity disrupts the harmony of the ecosystem, as every creature plays a vital role in the web of life. Next, consider the disruption of water cycles. Forests play a critical part in maintaining the balance of our planet's water systems. They absorb rainwater, then release it back into the atmosphere. When these forests disappear, the soil dries out, springs and rivers dwindle, and the once fertile land can become a barren desert. And of course, there's climate change. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, one of the primary greenhouse gases contributing to global warming. When we lose forests, we lose a significant ally in the fight against climate change. Now, let's shift gears and examine the economic impacts, starting with the loss of valuable timber resources. The timber industry is a significant contributor to Nigeria's economy, but irresponsible deforestation threatens its longevity. Once these forests are gone, they're gone for good, and with them, a valuable source of income. Next, consider tourism. Nigeria's forests are a major draw for tourists, who come to see the country's unique wildlife and stunning landscapes. As these attractions disappear, tourism revenue will inevitably decline. Finally, we can't overlook the potential future costs related to climate change. As temperatures rise and weather patterns become more unpredictable, Nigeria could face increased expenses related to disaster management, agricultural losses, and health issues. The price of deforestation is high, affecting not just the environment but also the economy, a cost that Nigeria and the world can ill afford. Now we bring together the threads of deforestation in Nigeria, weaving a comprehensive picture. Let's cast our minds back to the political history of Nigeria, where we unearthed the roots of the deforestation issue. It was a tale of administrative negligence and lax regulations, a tale as old as time itself. Nigeria's political system, marked by instability and corruption, has inadvertently provided fertile ground for unsustainable logging practices to flourish. We then delved into the causes of deforestation and found a complex web of factors at play. From the rampant illegal logging to the conversion of forest land for agriculture, from the relentless urbanization to the insatiable demand for firewood and charcoal, each cause is a piece of the puzzle that forms the larger image of deforestation in Nigeria. Transitioning to the environmental and economic impacts of deforestation, we crunched the numbers, and they painted a grim picture. The loss of biodiversity has been staggering, with countless species of flora and fauna losing their natural habitats. Soil erosion is rampant, threatening agricultural productivity and leading to food insecurity. Economically, Nigeria is losing its forest wealth at an alarming rate, with millions of dollars worth of timber being illegally logged each year. But the most sobering fact remains that deforestation is contributing to climate change. Nigeria's forests, like all forests, are natural carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. As these forests disappear, so does their capacity to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Furthermore, we cannot ignore the social implications. The forests are home to numerous indigenous communities who depend on them for their livelihoods. Their way of life is being threatened, their cultural heritage erased, and their very survival put at risk. Deforestation in Nigeria is a pressing issue, one that requires immediate attention and action for the sake of the environment, the economy, and future generations. It's a daunting task, but it's not too late to turn the tide. Our collective efforts can make a difference. We must act now, for our future and the future of our planet depends on it. The question now is, what can we do about it? We've delved into the roots of deforestation in Nigeria, unmasked its causes, and highlighted its environmental and economic impact. But knowledge without action is like a ship without a rudder, directionless. It's time to steer towards a better future. The time for sustainable practices is now. Not tomorrow, not next year, but today. By supporting local businesses that prioritize the environment, we can help build an economy that values our forests as much as we do. But it doesn't stop there. We need to raise our voices, advocate for responsible government policies that put the environment first, not as an afterthought. This is a collective battle, one that requires us all to play our part. Awareness is the first step to change. Talk about it, tweet about it, let the world know that Nigeria's forests are under threat. The future of Nigeria's forests is in our hands. Together, we can make a difference.